Welcome to Wellness Big Sis, the pod, a by Maven media production, where we believe you deserve real education from real experts delivered in a way you can actually use. I'm Dr. Kelsy Vick, your board-certified orthopedic doctor of physical therapy, and this podcast was built for the girl who is done feeling overwhelmed and frustrated by conflicting health noise and is ready for something she can actually trust. Every week, we have honest, science-backed conversations about your health, your hormones, your brain, your body, and everything in between. No fluff, no fear-mongering, just the truth. Because understanding your body is the most powerful thing you can do for yourself. A table full of experts built for the curious girl who wants the truth. So welcome. Your seat is waiting for you. So there is one organ in your body that is aging almost twice as fast as every other organ in your body. Researchers are now calling ovarian aging one of the most important longevity markers that we have. So when ovarian aging speeds up, the effects ripple far past just fertility. Ovarian aging is not just a reproductive story, it's a whole body endocrine story. Ovarian longevity is not built on a biohacking weekend. It is built in the habits that your future self inherits. So there is one organ in your body that is aging almost twice as fast as every other organ in your body. And it's not your skin, it's not your gut, it's your ovaries. And scientists now think that how fast your ovaries age might predict how long you live. If longevity is the group chat that everyone is obsessed with right now, then the ovaries just got added to the thread. Welcome back to Wellness Big Sis, the pod. I'm your host, Dr. Kelsy Vick, a board-certified orthopedic doctor of physical therapy and a pelvic floor physical therapist. And as soon as this newer research came across my desk, my metaphorical desk, aka my email, I knew we had to cover the topic. The longevity space is having a full-blown cultural moment and probably has been for the last 5-6 years, maybe since COVID and since the big sort of Huberman lab push. Longevity is this buzzword that seems to be in the health and wellness space and in all the products that we see on our feeds and all of the conversations that we have. It is such a trending topic right now. And when we hear of longevity, a lot of us probably think of some of the biohacking things like the cold plunges, the saunas. We hear about our VO2 max, our cardiovascular health, which all of that is super important. But what I haven't heard about when it comes to longevity are the ovaries. And today we are fixing that because researchers are now calling ovarian aging one of the most important longevity markers that we have. So let's get into why your ovaries are the main character. Think of your body as the group of girlfriends that you entered preschool with, and you're all aging at the same exact time. You're going through kindergarten together, first grade, second grade. You have all of the same toys, all of the same trends. You're aging through the decades at the same rate. But then there's that one girl who seems to hit certain milestones before everyone else, whether they are growth spurts, whether they are menstrual cycle or reproductive related, whether it is getting some of the more female characteristics, like maybe she's the first one to have to wear a bra, or maybe she was even the first one to get a cell phone. That friend is similar to your ovaries. They run on their own timeline. Ovarian function starts its measurable decline in your mid-30s. And it's not a reason to panic. It's a reason to pay attention early while you have the most leverage. Researchers, including a well-known group out of Colombia, have shown that the ovaries age more than twice as fast as other tissues and organs within our bodies, which makes them the fastest aging organ we have, and ironically, one of the least studied when it comes to aging and longevity research. We hear so much about the heart, so much about our cardiovascular health, but I don't know about you guys, I have rarely, if ever, heard about the ovaries as they relate to my own longevity. So why do our ovaries actually matter for our full body longevity? Ovarian follicles are a major source of estrogen. And estrogen plays a lot of different roles in a lot of different systems in our body. It helps regulate bone density, heart health, blood sugar, and cognitive function. So when ovarian aging speeds up, the effects ripple far past just fertility. You guys know I'm big into prevention. It's one of the reasons I started this podcast, was trying to share the education and information that I have through the years and years of both education on our physiology, our brain health, and then also the clinical practice that tags along with it. There are so many things I wish I knew earlier on. And a lot of the time for me, that has revolved around strength training, bone mineral density, heart health, endurance, VO2 max, all of these very typical things that we think of in the longevity realm. But now that I understand that ovarian aging and my ovaries age almost twice as fast as any other organ in my body, it makes me want to start to implement certain things that actually help my ovaries while I still have the chance to positively impact them and impact the speed in which they age. So I'm adding it as another reason why to start treating your 20s and 30s as the window where your daily habits, strength training, blood sugar stability, and sleep actually shape the trajectory of our overall lifespan. Awareness of all of these things now is like the cheapest intervention we will ever get. Quick favor before we keep going. If this show has ever taught you something or made your day a little better, take 10 seconds to leave a review wherever you are listening. Apple, Spotify, anywhere. It genuinely helps other smart girls and mavens find us. And it's the easiest way to support a podcast you love for free. Okay, back to it. So ovarian aging is not just a reproductive story, it's a whole body endocrine story. When your ovaries slow, estrogen drops, and a bunch of dominoes start to tip. Earlier ovarian aging is linked to heart disease, osteoporosis, and cognitive decline. And this is exactly why the longevity world is starting to treat reproductive timing as more of a vital sign versus a footnote. A key lab measure here when talking about ovarian aging is AMH, or anti-Müllerian hormone, which is a value that reflects your ovarian reserve. Emerging clinical research has linked declining AMH levels to increased cardiovascular risk and insulin resistance, meaning that an ovarian marker is quietly telling us something about our cardiovascular health and our metabolic health. Research has also found that women who reach menopause later on in life tend to live longer, and studies suggest that lengthening a woman's reproductive window may track with extended lifespan itself. Some of the mechanisms being studied behind all of this include mitochondrial function and inflammation, the same things that a lot of longevity scientists look at already. So some of the things you can do to understand your own ovarian aging and the characteristics that you might have limited control over: know your family timeline. Ask when the women in your lineage started menopause so that you have this idea of the age of onset for them that might also genetically predispose you to that timeline of menopause onset. And if you want further data on yourself, get your AMH levels checked. It's a simple blood test that you can ask about, and it's not something to act on dramatically, but it can give you a good indication. So I look at all of those things as the part of ovarian aging that are more out of your control, more related to genetics and just the stage of life that you're in. So what are the things that we can all do to help our ovarian aging through behaviors and actions that positively impact the speed at which those ovaries age? The good news here is that the levers that you might pull to positively impact your own ovaries are probably the levers you guys are already pulling every single day to positively impact your overall health. The things that impact your ovaries positively are the same powerful, unglamorous habits that impact the entirety of your health and wellness. The boring greatest hits of daily habits. Some of the core drivers of accelerated ovarian aging in the research are oxidative stress, mitochondrial dysfunction, and chronic inflammation. So the goal of these everyday habits are simple: decrease the inflammatory load on your body and support your mitochondria. Behaviors like strength training and getting enough protein in your diet help to support metabolic health and insulin sensitivity, which matters because insulin resistance is part of that link between AMH and cardiovascular health. Sleep and stress regulation help to lower that chronic systemic inflammation. And quitting smoking is one of the most consistently documented ways to protect your ovarian reserve, since smoking is directly toxic to those follicles. See, a lot of those things I'm sure you guys are probably already incorporating into your routine. But if you're not, maybe pick one of the levers this week to positively impact your own ovarian aging. If you have such a great strength training routine, maybe try and reach those protein goals. If you get 5 hours of sleep, that's the lever that I might try and adjust. Ovarian longevity is not built on a biohacking weekend. It is built in the habits that your future self inherits. So as a little recap, 1, your ovaries are the fastest aging organ in your body, and they start their decline in your mid-30s. So this is a conversation for right now you, not future you. 2, ovarian aging is not just a reproductive marker, but a whole body longevity marker connected to your heart health, bone health, and brain health. And AMH plus your family menopause timeline are 2 ways to know your starting line when it comes to ovarian aging. But lastly, number 3, there are some things that you can actually have a little bit of control over that positively impact your ovarian timeline. Strength, protein, sleep, quitting smoking are some of the behaviors with the highest amount of research behind them to impact your ovaries specifically. So I hope you guys enjoyed this unique viewpoint when it comes to longevity, talking about a reproductive organ or an organ that we think of primarily in regards to reproduction, but how our ovaries are actually a measure of our full body health and wellness and our longevity. So I hope you guys learned something this week. I'll see you guys again on the next episode of Wellness Big Sis, the pod. If you like the conversations we have here, then you will love the Smart Girl newspaper. It is my free weekly newsletter for the mavens, the most dynamic dinner party guests, the women whose curiosity does not stop at wellness, but expands into personal finance and investing, entrepreneurship and business, travel and culture, the consumer news worth knowing, and the articles and podcasts worth talking about. A new volume every week, and the link is in the show notes below.